Hi, my name is Gregory Mark. I know many dentists have been asking me what we do, what's the next step after the milling process. When we mill the crown, what kind of bores we use, how we polishing, how we accentuate the grooves, and other steps. So today is my patient sitting right next door, and we milled the crown number 14. So I want to show you the steps, what I'm taking to improve the anatomy of the crown. And you've already been seeing in the past it's have a stain and glaze. So let's start it. So as I said before, the magnification is very important. We know that we have a sprue, and you can see that the materials of the bores I've been using. I'm using my office as a laboratory, but of course I do this in a laboratory, but just for the video. Moved all the supplies, all the materials here. So again, my magnification is very important. The speed should be not more than 10,000 RPM, but I'm gonna show you what steps and the RPMs I've been using for different steps. So the most important right now is we know that we have the sprue, and we're gonna use the centered diamond, okay, to remove it. So let's start it. So the most important is to remove the sprue completely. It will not interfere. Next step. So again, I change the position of my crown to make sure I will not thin the margin of my crown. It depends, of course, on your parameters. Of course, the next step would be polishing and remove all the grooves being created by milling unit and using the bores. So let's, you probably can go a little bit more details right here. So look here, so I'm going to identify the cusp tips. And what I'm doing right now, I'm going to connect them and create like a circle. So this imaginary circle for you, the lines, but you also can see that a little bit bulkiness of the cusp tips itself. Again, when the patient bites, okay, this might deflect the bite force and create a little bit of occlusion problem. So what I usually do, again, you can use the same ones, okay, but you can use any kind of bores. So I'm going to start from the buccal. You can see that I'm going to try to make sure that it comes to the line I've been created. And also I will try to open that occlusal embrasure. So just go around this crown. And see, I'm not putting a lot of pressure. I'm doing it slowly. Now you can see that you see how the line. Okay. So the next step, you can have this tapered bore, okay, to use, and to make sure that the cusp tips you have is, you see the groove right here, So I want to make sure it's my cut tip has 3 planes. The next board I'm taking is diamond, and a little pointy one. We're going to accentuate the grooves. And you can see that I'm working from 2 different angles. So when I'm done, I'm gonna use the rubber wheel, go around the structure, remove all the streaks been created by me doing accentuated anatomy and also from the mill unit. So we're gonna use 5000 RPM, and you can see here that I remove my lights, working in the dark, just to make this video much better, so you can see better. But you see this, I'm going to around the grooves, and I also make my margins a little bit thinner, since my parameters when I mill are a little bit thick, and I'll make sure that my margins at the end will flash with the tooth structure. And you see I'm going to on occlusal embrasures, not touching the contacts, and make them smooth a little bit here. And you can see that I have the anatomy of the tooth structure got much better from the milling unit. Again, so I'm trying to remove all the streaks, but again, it also depends on adjacency. Some people have this, so you don't have to remove completely the lines, so that creates just a little bit more illusion, like an adjacency. So look at the pictures, okay, and then make sure that you just mimic your adjacent teeth, or if you prep this the crown and you like the crown, again take a picture of it and try to resemble in your bio copy. So now we're done. It's all the preparation before the staining and glazing. My assistant already been steamed the prep, and also you see the prepare for me the staining glaze. Again, I'm in my office right now. So you can see they have two screens. One is in the buckle view, and another one is occlusal view. So I want my staining glaze kit ready to deliver the restoration. And once again, so what I do is I'll usually look at the color, look at the shape of again the adjacent teeth, and try to mimic them. So again, it's you already been seeing it's in other video in the past. That's how I stain and glaze, but that's what I usually do, or my assistant does when we stain and glaze. Thank you. So once again, it's I'm not putting in the light. Again, 5,000, not more. Okay, because if you make it more the RPMs, you're gonna remove the glaze. Okay, so to make it more polishing, more luster. So once again, it's I'm taking, and you can see it's again magnification is very important. Okay, don't put a lot of pressure against the restoration. The reason is you might probably remove all the secondary anatomy perichematis you've been creating while creating the grooves. Again, this is the high polish. In the end, I'm going to use the paste just to go around with the grooves, and the paste is the company name is Zircon Bright, and I'll show you when I'm done polishing. Again, as I say, I'm going to go with all the grooves, okay, and especially my occlusion. Okay, an occlusion I polished even before I put the glaze, but again, I don't use actually glaze on occlusion. It's just a glaze liquid. Okay, just to cover all the bubbles, all the lines being created by milling unit. And you can see the difference. You see, I still have a little bit like a secondary anatomy on the cusps. So I'm gonna stop the unit, and this is the company we're going to use, Bright. Okay, and you can use the white brush. And again, it's you don't have, again 5,000 RPM. And what you do is you just dip and go around the surface areas. Again, so every time you change the surface you're working on, just dip a little bit more so you have enough paste to work on. And you can see the difference, okay, in anatomy. So after we've polished, we are going to etch the restoration, and we're going to proceed with cementing. Okay, and with that, you can see the difference.